Welcome back to Inside Politics. Our guest today is looking forward to the 2020 August primary for the U.S. Senate seat that will be open in Tennessee next year. That's the seat held by Senator Lamar Alexander, who's retiring. His name is Dr. Manny Sethi. He's our guest. Dr. Sethi, there's a lot of concern about what's going on in the Middle East. We had two tankers again attacked this week. The U.S. blames Iran. Iran says they didn't do it. Nobody seems to want to go to war, but there's a lot of military force over there. We've got a carrier group there. We've got B-52 bombers. Things could happen. Are you concerned we're going to wind up in another war in the Middle East?
Look, I think that the Middle East is a very complicated place. You know, I spent a year there as a Fulbright scholar in North Africa and Tunisia, taking care of patients with children with muscular dystrophy, and I saw firsthand, you know, some of the threats that radical Islam can propose to the world. Look, in Iran right now, Iran's a bad actor. You know, they violated the JCPOA. I'm glad that that President Trump has stood up to them. You know, I think that through diplomacy, through sanctions, we should do whatever we can. But I also think we have to show military strength, as we are in the Persian Gulf. And
would you prefer the president come and get permission from Congress to use force if necessary before something happens or after the fact?
Well, you know, I think that that Congress should, if we are going to take military action, I think it would be prudent for Congress to be consulted. But I think, again, right now, what we need to do is we need to show military strength, like the president is doing, and try to increase sanctions on Iran and try to economically demonstrate to them what will happen if they continue to be bad actors. And again, what they did with the JCPOA, their threat to Israel, you know, how they're subsidizing terrorism in Lebanon, it's wrong. And I think someone's got to stand up to them.
So you believe regime change is the way to solve it in Iran?
Look, I don't think we need to be getting in the business of regime change anywhere. But what we need to do is I think we need to show these people that, listen, if you're a bad actor, you misbehave, you're going to have to face the might of America. You're
talking about going to Washington also to fight illegal immigration. Your parents and you came through that process.
Well, my parents did. I was born in America.
That process. They came through legally. Is it your feeling that you want to fight illegal immigration because everybody ought to go through the same system you did? And do you like that system?
Look, here's the thing. Everybody talks about how the president is anti-immigration, but would you believe that he is one of the first people to actually increase H-1B visas? And last year, the most we've ever had in history. Look, I believe in legal immigration. People say, oh, you know, when you talk about the building a wall and all this stuff, you're a racist. Why don't you ask my mom, who has the thickest Indian accent you will ever hear, and she'll tell you, look, I stood in line. I waited my turn. That's the American way. Why can't other people wait in line? And so that's why I think that we need to curb illegal immigration. The other thing to just tell you is, look, I have traveled the state for the last 6 months talking about this opioid crisis. It is like the HIV crisis of our time. You have fentanyl, you have meth, you have heroin. All of this stuff is coming across, in many ways, the southern border from Mexico. We have to curb that. It's a problem in Tennessee.
So you support the tariffs the president threatened on Mexico if they don't do more to stop the people coming across the border on their own?
Well, in general, look, I'm a free trader. I don't believe in tariffs.
The Republican Party used to be. They don't seem to be anymore. President Trump is certainly not a free trader. He thinks tariffs are very good to use both for foreign policy and domestic policy.
Well, I think we have to give him room to negotiate. And as you saw in Mexico, it was very effective, and we're not going to levy these tariffs. But I think we just have to give a negotiator the room to negotiate.
Your parents, obviously, because you come from physicians, would have been the kind of people, even in the changes the president wants to make in illegal immigration, they would love legal immigration. They'd love to have come in because they want the skills to come in here.
That's right. That's right.
But the Statue of Liberty talks about, give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to be free. That's not how most people. That's how most people came into this country. They didn't come in with skills like that. Is that how our immigration system ought to be, on a skill base, not on a basis of need or people just wanting to be free?
Well, I think it should be both. I mean, I think we always have to seek to figure out what's in the best interest of our country, America first. But obviously, our immigration policies do, I think, bring in experts, but they bring in our tired, our weary, our weak. But look, Pat, this is a country. It has borders. We have to have rules. And I just think that every president before President Trump has kicked the can down the road. And I think it's just time that we confront this. And again, it's all about being less talk, more action.
In your opening campaign video that I watched, you mentioned that you are Christian.
Yes.
Is your faith important to you? Did you bring it up in part because you perhaps thought some voters might think because of your name and your nationality that you might be Hindu or Muslim?
No, you know, my faith is just a really important part of my life. Look, I lost my father when I was in my early 20s. And it was a really difficult point in my life where my faith really meant a lot to me. And I think I wrote a book about 5 years ago about faith in near life-ending trauma. And I really do believe that faith is a very critical component of healing. And my faith, you know, I talked and prayed with my pastor over the last many, many months about this decision. And that's why I mentioned it, because I think people, my patients, when I operate on them, and I meet them in very difficult situations. We have sometimes 1 minute, 2 minutes, 30 seconds to make decisions together. But I think again, I have never run for office. I've never run for student council. So I'm treating this like I would my trauma practice. And I think, just like my patients, it's important for a voter to know who I am, where I come from, what I stand for, what I believe in. I think it's critical.
Dr. Manny Sethi is our guest on Inside Politics.
Hey,
thank you so much for coming in. Good luck.
I appreciate you.
And you're in the
Thank
race regardless, right? No matter who gets in, you're running.
I'm here to stay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
I suspect we'll have you back again before the August primary in 2020.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for joining us on Inside Politics this week. Hope you're back here again for a future show. If you can't get enough politics in the meantime, go to the News Channel 5 website. You'll find my Capitol View commentary there. There's a new commentary posted every Friday afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you back here next time. Goodbye.